Great. Hi everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday, our Wellness Wednesday. We're going to start with Erin Szokol today. I'm so excited to hear your presentation. Thank you. Erin has been a friend of mine for 5 years. Yeah, four to 5 years. Anyways, we met at the preschool. We were both moms and both really gung-ho on how we feed our children, how we feed our families, how we feed ourselves, and everything about it organic. So we would just have these little meetings together all the time of, okay, did you see what they served for snack today? And what did you put in your lunch today? And have you looked at this ingredient? And we'd go Costco shopping together and look at ingredients and just crazy stuff. And then I introduced isogenics to her. And at that time, she was getting really serious about losing, although what we always had been, very serious and worked really hard, it just didn't come off. And so I'm like, okay, let's just go for it. And she hemmed and hawed, and she, took a little bit of time, and then she went right in. And you've now lost over 50 pounds. And you were just saying now that you just gained, what, 6% of your muscle?
6 pounds.
6 pounds of muscle.
That was in a month.
Yeah, that's just crazy. And so she does a lot of, as you guys heard, a lot of the cleansing, daily cleansing, and then just did the 2-day. But today she's going to talk about how to maintain health and wealth during the holidays. And Erin is probably the person, and Tracy, you know, that if you ever have a health question or a mind question or just a spiritual head, get the whole thing together, you go to Erin. And Erin's going to be the one to answer it, because with all that she has done and her knowledge and her extent and her experience of how the body works, how the mind works, how the heart, putting it all together, you really truly have such a whole heart of the whole thing. The whole circle blends together where a lot of people miss something. And you just blend it all together and have this beautiful relationship. So it works. So help keep us healthy during the holidays, and so we don't have to gain that 6 to 10 pounds.
Yay!
10 pounds.
Thank you. Okay, well, welcome.
Hi.
Today's going to be just a little bit different than most probably presentations. So, like Stephanie said, I'm a little bit more holistic minded, and so I'm going to lead you through a couple things that I think actually they're kind of cool. We're not going to get into the nitty gritty about like individual ingredients of some of these products, but I'm going to help you kind of understand how you can prepare yourself for holiday parties, or even if you're at work and cookies come in. And my client walked in the other day with a giant plate of cookies for me. Oh my gosh!
For you.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but also just a little bit about why and how you feel in isogenic. So let me start first. Stephanie introduced me a little bit. Stephanie and I have been friends for a while. In fact, I think my youngest daughter and her oldest son at one point were boyfriend and girlfriend in preschool. So now they can't even recognize each other.
No.
Now they don't even talk to each other.
Yeah, they're like,
But they had their love affair.
they had their little love affair, 2.5. But Stephanie and I had always kept in contact. I'm not quite sure how, even when we separated schools after preschool. But at some point she realized that, oh my goodness, she needs to lose some weight, and she had kept on me, and also talking about the business side. And at that point in my life, I was like, Stephanie, I don't want any part of the business, but maybe I'll try the product. And she's right, I did. I hemmed and hawed about it for a long time, and finally I just like, okay, I'm just going to do this. And in 11 days, I think I lost 6 pounds, and I don't even know how many inches, and that's with cheating a little bit on it. I mean, honestly. So at that point I went, what is this stuff? And even my husband was like, well, what is that? What's going on? Because you look at big thing that changed for me is my clients started walking in, and that was within I think 3 weeks or maybe a month of being on the system. And my clients started walking in, they're like, what's different about you? You've been working out, but something's different about you. And we call that the isogenics glow. And I was shocked. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm like, something's different. I'm like, well, I've lost, a few inches. I don't know. So anyway, I'm eternally grateful for Stephanie. And about a year ago, I decided, okay, yeah, I'm gonna kind of start spreading sharing the great news about how I feel. So that's kind of a little introduction into me. Let me get my cheat notes. Hang on. Now, one of the other things that I do is I am certified in teaching primordial sound meditation through the Chopra Center. So meditation can helps balance your mind and your thoughts and really center yourself. There's a whole spiritual side about it. But what I'd like to do for you guys is just close your eyes for me, okay? Put your pens down, uncross your legs, kind of shake your arms out just a little bit, and you at home can do this as well. Namaste. And I want you just to take a minute, okay? Really relax and just be in this space. And do me a favor, take a deep breath in your nose and release it out your nose as well. And just concentrate for a few deep breaths as I'm speaking. And I really, really just want you to be in this space. Understand that we're here today to learn a little bit about ourselves, why we're involved with isogenics, why we want to take these products, where we truly are in our love for ourselves, and really understand that right now, for the next hour, 45 minutes to an hour, nothing matters. Just your breathing, just your listening. Really get centered with your heart. Just take a couple deep breaths. I'm going to leave you in a moment of silence for just a brief minute. Take this time to just really enjoy it and connect with your inner self. And I'll lead you out. I'll watch the time and I'll lead you out in just a moment. Enjoy. While you're in that space, just for a moment, really think about how you felt with the Isogenics products in your body, how you felt knowing that you can, if you've shared with other people, how you've influenced other people's lives. Really think about what you're doing for yourself by putting these wonderful products wherever your knowledge base is on these products. Really think about it. Understand that you're doing this out of self-love. And then go ahead and gently take a deep breath in. Really let that out. Start wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers. And just slowly open your eyes. And then let's just be present here. Since we're in this really good space, I just want you guys to shout out gently, since we're in a good space. How do you feel with the Isogenics? How does your body feel? How does your soul feel? How does your aura feel with the Isogenics products in it? Maybe after a day of cleansing, or maybe even after a week of having the shakes.
Less bloated.
Less bloated, okay, excellent.
Energy.
Mm-hmm. Energy, right.
More free.
More free, okay.
Less worry.
Less what?
Less worry about what I'm eating.
Mm-hmm.
Less worrying.
Yeah.
Okay, good, so it's convenient.
Calming.
Yeah.
Calming, okay.
It's hard to yell.
Good for you, good for you.
Happy all the time
Happy all the time, okay, good. So it actually really helps you with, okay.
with my the sense of well-being.
Awesome.
Awesome. That's what I've noticed a great deal.
So,
I fell in love with you more during that.
namaste.
I love you more.
I love you more.
more.
I was looking for a particular word. So something that I thought of immediately was that I feel light. And by the way, here you guys for participating. Here you go. Chai tea. We're going to talk about this a little later. Oh, Stephanie, she doesn't need any. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But the word I was looking for is light. Okay. For me, after a cleanse day, especially, I feel light.
Oh yeah.
And
During
relaxed.
cleansing, feel light.
And during cleansing, you feel light. It feels amazing, okay? And I want you to really think about that word light, okay? So, light is freeing, right? It's freeing. You've got dark, heavy, bloated. Doesn't feel good, but you've got light, okay? So one thing I really want you to now do, we're going to do another little exercise. with your eyes closed. Okay, go ahead and close your eyes one more time. I have this really great song that I heard today. Actually, I heard it at the Global Meditation, but it's by India Ari, okay? And you're going to listen to it, but as you're listening to it, again, we're going to do this as just a little guided meditation with a song. Why don't you just repeat the word light in your head? Because what this doing is it's associating now, you guys, your mind with isogenics in this place, in this time, learning about isogenics with light. So it's a very good neuro-linguistic exercise, as well as connecting your mind, body, and your soul. So just listen to it, repeat the word light, and enjoy it for a few moments. It's just a little bit of an interesting meditation you guys can think about and really associate being light. And I did that on purpose. Why do you think I did that?
Take away the darkness.
Take away the darkness. Why am I associating it though with an isogenics event that we're here at?
Mm-hmm.
And especially when it comes to holiday season.
Feeling less heavy.
So the reason I did it, and I've had a lot of backgrounds with this, but the reason I did it is because when you go to a holiday party, and you're tempted, possibly, okay, because a lot of people have this temptation. Again, with my client that walked in with a plate full of cookies.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to all of a sudden go, I'm light. I don't necessarily need that because that might make me feel heavy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a pound of mashed potatoes might make me feel heavy. Now, a bite of mashed potatoes would probably be okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit light, right? Or a little bite of cookie or something if you're at a holiday party.
Yeah.
That's lighter than a ginormous plate of mashed potatoes and gravy and, you know, stuff. So I did that on purpose, okay? So hopefully that will stick with you because it just resonates and resonates a little bit here and here and everywhere. Okay, so that's one thing I just want you guys to kind of keep in mind is that if you ever are tempted at a party, I get tempted a lot. If you're ever tempted at a party or people are walking in and they say, oh, try this brownie, just kind of take a few deep breaths like you did at the beginning and just think I am light or just light, okay? Keep that in mind. All right, so let's talk about a little bit the holiday. We're here to talk about, you know, how we can maintain our weight, if not possibly lose our weight, which I actually have done during the holidays. That's awesome! And maintain our weight, lose our weight, as well as manage our stress during the holidays. So what are some of the things that you guys feel during the holidays?
During the holidays, just it's like you were talking about, not being all together there.
Not all together there, okay? Is it because you're pulled in too many directions?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, pulled in too many directions. Who else?
Feeling kind of hurried and, you know, just
Hurried, not enough time,
yeah,
rushed. How's your sleep? Good.
I always sleep.
No,
Lucky, Lisa sleeps well. No,
I used to, and last week I have not.
you haven't slept. Okay,
No.
so
Mm-mm.
we're just busy. We're, you know,
Right.
sometimes there's family pressures. Let's be really honest. A lot of people have family issues. Oh, what do you mean you're not coming to this? Oh, are you coming to this? You know, there's all kinds of things. Whether you're, you know, you've got to go to one
Feeling
person's
pulled
family.
in different directions.
Different directions. Okay. So, what is stress? What exactly is stress? Do you guys know? Do you guys know the physiological response of what stress
They
does?
do.
No? Okay, so again, this is something I teach in the meditation class, but stress is actually your body's reaction, physiological reaction that causes the stress. So the physiological reaction that your body has, it actually goes into fight or flight response, okay? Who knows what fight or flight is? You guys have been taught
That
a lot.
means either run away from whatever the issue is, right?
Right.
And sweeping it under the rug, maybe.
Okay,
Or
fight, like you're like ready to just bring it on, okay?
Fighting, just
Or you're ready to run, okay? Where do you think it came from? Our bodies are made to do that, right? Where do you think it came from? Way back when? Cavemen, let's just say cavemen, when a saber-toothed tiger was about ready to get us, we had to be ready to go. We had to be good, yeah, right? We had to be ready to just like, get the heck out of there, okay? So immediately we're either gonna fight them and kill them to eat them, or we're gonna run as fast as we can. Well, do you know what happens to your body? Your body, all of a sudden, what happens? Your heart rate goes, right? Your heart rate goes around. Whenever you get nervous, you guys ever get nervous? Your heart rate starts going up, okay? So cardiovascularly, it's a little bit of tension on your heart, okay? Your blood, it's called blood shunting, so your blood actually goes to your extremities. And the reason it does that is because it has to run or fight with your hands or your feet, okay? So then at that point, you're not getting as much circulation to your internal organs, okay? Your adrenal glands go into hyperdrive. Do you know what your adrenal glands take care of?
a lot of things.
Hormonal levels, right? A lot of things. Your cortisol levels go up. What happens with all of that is that it then becomes sticky platelets in your heart, okay? Sticky platelets then can lead to heart disease, okay? Your cortisol levels go. You have, imbalanced hormone levels. You're sweating, you're sweating. That's obviously uncomfortable a little bit. So you can see that these things kind of add up. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the average, and I'm going to say American, do you know how many times our body on average goes into fight or flight every day?
Like 10 times.
8 to 15 times.
Hmm.
8 to 15 times on average a day. Do you think cavemen had that problem?
No.
No. And you know what? We haven't evolved enough to actually get to the point where our bodies can handle going into fight or flight response 8 to 15 times. So when we've got all these things going on, our bodies are completely stressed out, right? Our bodies are stressed out whether we know it or not. You know, just standing up here, my armpits are sweating a little bit, makes me a little stressed out. You know, my kids, they're arguing, that makes me a little bit stressed out. Somebody's hair, I'm a little bit nervous about doing somebody's hair, that makes me a little stressed out. Calling somebody about isogenics might make me a little stressed out. Again, some days I would say for me it's more than 8 to 15 times a day. So that can
I was gonna say parents.
a parent have a lot of stress, and I blame my gray hair on that. But yeah. So that can add up, and then that can lead to chronic diseases. Okay, you know, diabetes, heart disease, all of that stuff that we see rampant in America. So there are lots of ways. What are some ways to combat stress? What do you do, Tracy? Work out, exercise. Okay. What else?
Deep breaths.
Deep breaths. Do you take the time to take deep
I
breaths?
do actually, sometimes.
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 Yes. Good job. That's great.
I need to do
Yeah. Yeah, we need to take deep breaths a lot more often instead of reacting. Deep breaths actually, if I can go there, deep breathing is huge, because then what happens is after you take a couple deep breaths, you stop that reaction process, right, from reacting. And this can really go into isogenics is like, as far as if you're stressed out, I'm a stress eater, I'm an emotional eater, you guys, or I'm fatigued. If I'm fatigued, I eat. If I can just sit and take a few deep breaths, it then takes me into my inner awareness right here, instead of that plate of cookies over there.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm already, and I find myself doing this nowadays, if my girls are arguing, I'm mad at them, I'm like walking into the kitchen and I'm ready to pick up something, and I'm telling you, it's not an iso delight, okay? It is, yeah, I don't know why, they're delicious, you know? It's a cookie or chips and salsa or something. So deep breath is huge, okay? So one of the ways I want to relate this back to isogenics is, does anybody know what's in some of our products that help with stress? You can't answer. Tom, you got it. Tom, right?
Oh, I literally just started. I'm like, I'm here to absorb wisdom.
Do you know, Tracy? No. Lisa?
Ionic Supreme.
Ionic Supreme. Okay. So what's in, well, let's talk about the products. You know the products. So first, we've got, where is Ionics?
Right next to you.
Right next to the red.
Oh, the red. Okay, I brought a big bottle. So we got, I have Ionic Supreme. Oh, amazing. Can't live without it.
Yeah.
How many times a day can you take this?
Twice.
Yeah, you can take it twice or
3,
more.
4.
Yeah.
So let me just tell you a little bit of story about this. I was 5 days into withdrawal of a cold turkey withdrawal of antidepressant, anti-anxiety medicine. Long story why that happened. But I woke up on a Sunday morning, this is day 5, and my heart started racing, and I was like, what's wrong? I either wanted to vomit, or I just couldn't calm down, I couldn't breathe. We went to church and the band was bugging the you know what out of me. And I was like, oh my goodness, I had a meditation thing I had to go to later that day. And I'm like, I said to my husband, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll try the Ionic Supreme. I took a serving of this, and I'm not kidding you, it calmed me down for about 2 to 3 hours. And then all of a sudden my heart rate started going back up, and then I took another one, it calmed me down for about 2 to 3 hours. So I say this is not in isogenics anywhere, but about 2 to 3 hour thing. Now, that was my own personal experience. You can't claim to, you know, say that it's going to help with any type of anxiety disorder or anything like that. But for me, that's my personal experience, okay? So Ionic Supreme. What's the other one? There's 2 more.
Tea.
Chai tea.
Like chai.
I have my little box. Chai tea. Yay, chai tea. Okay, this is a concentrated little packet. You guys got it. You can add it to warm water, okay? You can even add it to your shakes, okay? You can add it to cold water. You don't want scalding hot water because it will kill something in it that we're going to talk about in a minute. But this stuff is awesome. It's one of my faves. And Lisa, take a picture of me. Let me stand up straight. I don't have earrings on. I'm a little naked. Okay. And what is the next thing? What's the next thing?
Shake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shakes
Or
actually not,
shots.
for something that I'm speaking of, not really, but the e-shots.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We've been out.
We've been out. We don't know what to do. We're coming back in a few days.
Those, I tell you, I take those before I go on a hike and it just, the endorphins
Are
just
amazing.
are amazing. I feel like I'm on like cloud 9 when the happiest person
Ever.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love the e-shots.
Little side note for the people viewing, can you have these on cleanse days?
Yes.
You can have one, I believe. Is that
Yes.
a little? Well, you can have one on cleanse days.
Unless you're Tony
And the
Super.
tea too.
And you get a tea as
Yeah.
well.
And of course the ions.
And of course the ions. Not too many servings, right? I'm one of this, maybe one of this,
each,
because
yeah.
it has some calories in it. But yes, you can. So with these 3 products, hi.
Hello. Come on in, Elby. I'm good. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm Erin. Hi. Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Come on in.
Have a seat.
So what is in all 3 of these products that help us with stress? Don't look.
Do you want me to say it?
You can say stuff.
Adaptogens.
Adaptogens. So I've had some experience in Ayurveda. Okay, Ayurveda is India's science of life. So I've heard this word for a long time, but how many of you know actually what this word means? Have you ever heard of it?
What's the word?
Adaptogens.
Oh.
You guys ever heard of it?
I feel like I've heard it.
Well,
You may have heard it. You may have heard me say it a little bit, right?
You're able to find
Yeah, it kind of comes up, right? So you've heard this word before, but a lot of time, I'm going to cover my daughter's lovely drawings here. So old school. I kind of feel like, a teacher when I was a kid.
I like it.
Adaptogen, okay? This is, it basically means, I'm going to just read, this is straight from the Webster's Dictionary, a non-toxic substance and especially a plant extract. Plants, notice the plants.
Yes.
I did that one, but she did the best. That is held to increase the body's ability to resist the damaging effects, which is interesting, damaging effects of stress, which we were just talking about, and promote normal physiological functioning, okay? So, basically, if you think about everything that happens when we're stressed out, our cortisol levels go up, our heart rate goes up, our sticky platelets, everything happens, this is actually going to resist the damaging effects of stress and help those things come back to normal, where they should be, okay? So, again, think of adaptogen as just, actually, I think it's the Greek root word is to adjust. So adapt to adjust. So basically that's bringing your body right back down to its normal state, okay? So how lucky are we that we have that in 3 different products?
I know.
Okay? In fact, Ayurveda, I trained with Ayurveda a little bit. In fact, I'm going to do a little bit more about it. I learned about this one product called not Shashandra, we do have Shashandra in there, but ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is one of the ingredients in maybe all 3 of them, possibly, that can help. It's an adaptogen. So I heard this word 6 years ago, and it's been around in Ayurveda for a while. But scientists actually in 1964, I think it was, in Russia, found adaptogens from plants. And they did it for athletes, to help them with energy and, increased stamina and stuff. So we're so blessed that we actually get this in our products, that we get to have every day. It's amazing. And our family can, benefit from it, or boyfriends. Okay, so these 3 things. Now think about this. Let's just think about this. You wake up in the morning, and on an empty stomach, you have your Ionic Supreme, okay? Woo, get a little hit of adaptogens. So immediately, we're a little bit calmer. We're a little bit like, okay, we can do this. We can kind of hang. Just helps me actually not be so stressed in the morning, okay? So then, maybe, midday, you're feeling a little tired, you actually have an e-shot, this coveted e-shots. Again, you're getting another hit of adaptogens. It has other things in it as well that helps with mental focus and energy, but you get another shot of adaptogens, again, to kind of help normalize our physiological functioning, okay? Then at night, you're sitting around, you're like, oh gosh, it's kind of wintertime in Arizona, it's 50 degrees outside somewhere. Maybe I should have some warm tea.
Okay.
Then you get another hit of adaptogens before nighttime. Okay, so again, really helps our body with stress. So the stress of the holidays and things you have to go to, just remember these 3 products have them in your bag, have them ready, have an e-shot in your man bag in your purse, and be like, you know what, I really need this right now because I'm feeling a little stressed out. Have the little packets of Ionic Supreme added to your water bottle. And dealing with people at work, have a little extra Ionic
Start
Supreme.
taking that to work with me.
Right. This is really nice too because you can have it iced. It's concentrated liquid, so you can have it iced in a water bottle or warm, so you don't have to have it warm too. So have these in your readily, you can grab them very quickly because that's going to help with stress. Okay. So that's huge. Next, let's talk about a little bit about. We were talking a little bit about overeating and having those, those common problems. I have these problems over the holidays. I mean, I have a really hard time with Australian red licorice. I can't help myself, So what?
I've only heard of red wine licorice.
Oh goodness, don't! I'm not even telling you. What causes you guys to overeat?
Stress.
My family.
Mine is
Your
stress.
family.
Well, I'm going home to Chicago for the holidays, and they're just gonna take me out to eat every night.
Okay.
So it's gonna
The temptations.
Yeah.
So your family influences you. Do they influence you? Do they say, "Why are you eating?" Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I come from an Italian family.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Here, yeah.
Okay. So it's what's wrong with you? Why are you not eating?
Exactly.
My husband's Hungarian grandmother used to look at me and say, "You're too skinny. You need to eat." What? What? There's a lot of that influence of family is a big one. You have holiday events that you're with family, and you've got this spread in front of you, and if you're the one being a rabbit by just eating a couple pieces of lettuce, they're gonna then criticize
They'll
you.
get offended.
Yeah.
They'll get offended. I don't know. My family doesn't
don't
get
like
offended,
it?
but
You
you
don't
don't
like
like
the
it.
food?
You're right. You don't like the food. My family just flat out was like, "What's wrong with you?" They know me now, right? They know me now, but they're like, "What's wrong with you?" So what else causes you to overeat?
Sadness. Any with like depression, huge.
Depression. Okay, during the holidays. I didn't even think about that. Now, my dad gets depressed almost every holiday, right? Depression hits. Loneliness hits a lot of times. That hits, okay? So, number one, deep breathing. Number two, those adaptogens are going to help with that kind of stuff. For anybody who gets a little bit depressed and can't claim anything, but I think that it'll probably help because it's helping you to go back to normal physiological functioning, right? It might liven your spirits a little bit. It might help you. It might give somebody who is depressed to say, you know what? I'm just going to go read a good book, or I'm going to get out there and go to that party, even though I don't have a date with me, or I don't have my family here, or I don't, whatever the reason may be. Depression is a big one. Okay. So again, the adaptogens, use them.
Working out.
Working out. So we're gonna learn what can help that.
But that makes you eat too.
Working
I'm
out.
saying.
Working
Makes you
okay.
want to eat.
So
For me,
what-
So she would probably allow herself to eat more, thinking, well, I worked out today.
So that happens to me as well. Sometimes where I'm like, well, I worked out today. I can have an extra,
Yeah.
bite of something. That's where then I take a couple deep breaths and go back and say,
Well, I also count my calories, so I know, I count how many calories I burn when I
okay.
work out, so I know.
Again, we do that too. Tracy and I have that ability where we know how many. So yeah, you can kind of justify it in your head a little bit. Okay. So what I want you to do then is to then go back to that exercise. I am light, and understand that there's a reason we don't want to gain weight and be obese and have diabetes and all that stuff. So you kind of have to go back to why we're putting these wonderful products in our body, right? So the reality is, are we going to overeat during the holidays?
No. I'm not.
I'm really gonna try hard this year.
So, okay. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? What is it like in your head that you're thinking that you're going to do that?
Well, I'm thinking I'll be in Chicago for a week, and I'm just gonna bring all my stuff with me. And my parents have a NutriBullet, and I'm gonna have it out in the kitchen
Excellent.
right when I wake up.
Excellent.
And I'm just gonna go about my daily schedule. I mean, Christmas is gonna be hard, but
That's just one meal.
yeah,
That's just
exactly.
one meal.
One meal.
Or one day.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, when people ask me about isogenics, they say, are you going to live on this stuff the rest of your life? I'm like, yes, of
Mhm.
course. Number one, it's amazing nutrition. Number two, it's free for me now. And number three, yes, I feel amazing on it. But do I have some days that maybe, maybe I overeat a little bit, maybe I don't have shakes on the day? Yes, but I just get right back on the system, on the plan. And part of that comes in with not feeling guilty about that and allowing yourself on those special occasions, very special occasions, hopefully few and far between, to have those days. But what is it that you have to do to get to Chicago, Tracy? With all your stuff, what is it that you have to do to get there? I mean, you've got a
Plan.
plan.
Yeah, plan.
Okay, a plan.
Yeah.
All right. Ding, 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 ding. So how many of us, let's just say it's not even the holidays, how many of us have a plan every day that you wake up? When you wake up that day, you have a plan, okay? Do you have an eating plan?
I eat, yeah, I do. I have an eating
Okay,
plan.
Lisa, you're an anomaly.
Yeah.
Yeah, plan.
Yes.
And a workout plan. But, go ahead, yes.
Yeah, I got a plan because I had to use stuff too. I got a couple of photo shoots coming up, one before Christmas
Okay.
and then 2 in January.
So you have a plan ahead.
Yeah,
Like
so
you
I-
have a goal, basically,
Yeah, I
that
know.
you know you have to
Just to stay lean and
stay lean. What about those people who are just new?
Oh, I have a decadence party to go to on New Year's Eve that I got a band for. So
So,
I'm not tempted.
You know what I love about this right now is that the holidays actually are in this group is a reverse psychology of most
Right.
people. Have you noticed that?
Right.
You only have the products in you for 7 days,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're already thinking, hey, I got a plan. I know what I'm doing, right? I've got something that's convenient. I know how to plan it out. My point to this is for people who maybe still are struggling a little bit or just getting started with it and they're in the holidays and they're thinking, oh my gosh, I have this holiday party on Saturday, I got another holiday party on Friday. They need to plan. They need to look at their day probably the night before and say, okay, what is my next day? What does my week look like? And say, okay, can I get in a cleanse day or 2 cleanse days this week? You really have to be a little bit more organized during the holiday, I think. You really have to be a little bit more organized about your plan and your eating.
And you have to
okay?
think ahead.
Unless you're
And you have to
perfect.
Too.
And you have to order it and
Yeah, I
have
was
it
just gonna say,
available.
yeah.
That's true
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
2-day cleanse. I'm only doing one. 2
Well,
days.
1 day cleanse is fine. We were talking about that before you came here, about daily cleanses. Again, that's planning too. Well, where, do I have the time to get my 2 shake days in before my cleanse day? So there's some planning that has to happen, and that's okay. One of the things that I love about isogenics is, and especially during the holidays, because we're all running around like chickens with our head cut off. How many times do you guys want to stop and get a burger? So honestly, there are days I want to stop and get a burger, okay? But what if you had a bar in your bag?
Bar
Okay.
and shake
One
is
of
in my
our-
purse every day.
Or a shake?
I'll
Now,
take a bar any day over a burger.
you would?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that interesting? So
Yeah,
sometimes
I
I
wish
want
I
a
already
burger.
had that.
You might get there. You might get there.
Yeah.
I would take a bar sometimes over a burger. I've actually gone and got my kids a burger before, which then I'm like, why am I doing that? And I eat a bar, but they had already had a bar in the morning or a shake in the morning or something like that. But if you have your stuff available, it's
You'll
convenient.
do it.
You'll do
And
it.
I always have chocolate sunny.
Chocolate sundae was a really great idea.
I
The snack.
And the
Snacks.
snacks, the ice of
I
snacks.
carry the snacks everywhere.
Absolutely, and that, okay, that takes a little bit of planning maybe the night before, okay, where you're like, I'm gonna be running around, put it in a little baggie, put it in a little container, make sure that you have like a chai tea or an extra stuff, just a little bit of planning, okay? But at least it's convenient.
Yeah.
Think about people who don't have the system,
Right.
okay? Now what I love, Tracy, is that you're gonna go home and, you know what? Make a shake for your mom and dad and say, let me show you how good this tastes. They're gonna think you're crazy at first probably, because they're Italian, right? But I'm like, hey, this is amazing, and it helps me kind of control myself, and I wanna be healthy, okay? So, plan was number 1, okay. Number 2 was, I have here, drink, and I got this actually off of Isogenics, I think it was isogenicshealth.net. Is what I'm pretty sure I got one of the articles. The next thing was get up and have your ionics directly in the morning. Why? Because we're going to start out with ionics that has the adaptogens in it. Already, you've set your intentions the night before of what you're going to do, your plan for the day, or what your schedule is like. You get up, you immediately have some adaptogens in your body. You're ready to go. You're kind of smooth, like your brain is a little bit ready, your body's a little bit ready to go for the day. One of the most important things is to have a shake for breakfast. Okay? A lot of people will want to skip breakfast, but it's not healthy for your body, it's not healthy for your metabolism. Then what happens is by the time you hit lunch, you're so hungry, you're gonna get that burger, and then you're gonna have French fries on top of it, and God forbid a Diet Coke, right? So you need to have that breakfast. There are studies that have been done that if you have a high protein breakfast, that, let's see, it leads to decreased feelings of hunger, and fewer calories consumed at lunch and dinner. So definitely studies on this.
Sets your pace for the
Set your pace for the day. Okay.
You don't
So very, very important. Now for me, I don't have a shake. I wake up and I have my ionics. I might have a little bite of something protein, usually about a third of a protein bar, and I go work out. But I have a shake directly after I work out, immediately. Like I'm walking out of there sweaty, shaking up my shake and drinking it. Okay. So immediately I'm already set for the day. So so that's very, very important. Why do you think? What's in the shakes that help?
live enzymes.
With the protein, what did you say?
The live enzymes.
The enzymes that helps with digestion. Do you know what else is in the shakes? So
Magic.
magic. That's what I say. I don't know what's in them exactly. Again, I'm not getting in the nitty gritty of the ingredients because I don't believe that we need to know all that. We have the resources
It's
for
a
that.
grade 7 whey, right?
Well, okay. See, I don't even get in that detail. I'm not one of those people. What I know is we have some live active enzymes in there that helps with digestion. We've got enough protein that's high quality, undenatured whey that's from grass-fed cows that is easily absorbed into our body. Okay, so number one, we wake up in the morning and have our shake. We've got the protein we need. We've got enzymes to help digestion. It's got all your minerals and vitamins in it. So when you put this in your body and you drink it within 10 minutes, what is your body doing? What do you think your body's saying? If you could say something, what do you think it's saying?
Saying
Saying
yummy.
yay.
It's probably saying, oh, like, thank you so much. Hi, Linda. This is such a great little place.
Who are you? Cute hair.
Oh gosh, thanks. I was telling you, I was trying to be festive earlier and I left my earrings at home. I'm just not complete, but anyways.
But you're glittery.
I'm glittery.
Yeah.
So our body is then, it's got all the nutrients and vitamins and everything it needs, right? So what happens? Our body is satiated at that point. Okay, so if you were to wake up and decide, I'm not going to have a shake, I'm going to have a bagel and cream cheese. Do you think sugar, our body immediately turns, now I don't know all the physiological responses of what it does, something about glucose and insulin, I don't know. But it immediately turns it into kind of sugar, and we get this big spike, and then we come. See, I don't.
And you're
get the
not
details.
going to feel light. You're going to feel heavy.
You're gonna feel heavy. You're gonna feel, and you're not. Your body's not gonna be satiated.
And then you're hungrier.
Then you're hungry because your body's doesn't have the nutrients and vitamins and minerals that it needs. So then you're gonna be like, my body needs something else. That's where those cravings start happening. Okay, so very important that you have breakfast. Exercise. Linda,
Yes.
how important is exercise to you?
Very.
What does it do for you?
It increases my endorphins, so I'm a happy person.
Okay. And what does it do? Well, the endorphins. The endorphins helps happiness, which helps with stress, right? So some people who get started on isogenics, I've seen, they're like, I can't exercise. Again, I think you were chatting about that a little bit. You're like, I need to wait, okay? What if you were to take a 15-minute walk either before your meal or after your meal? What would that do? Do you know? Have you ever tried it?
Oh, I mean, that's a stress reliever for me, is walking around the neighborhood, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
That's a stress reliever
Okay.
for me.
Good.
A walk's not gonna get my heart rate up or anything like
No.
that for me.
But you know what it does? There's actually been studies done that it helps. Let me read this. So official. It says taking a 15-minute walk before or after a meal helps to reduce consumption at a meal by 50%.
Wow.
So if you were to take a 15-minute walk before a meal, it helps to reduce consumption by 50%. Again, I got this on isogenicshealth.net, okay? And after a meal, it helps with your blood sugar management, which then means it helps less, cravings at night. And that's when I get all my cravings at night. I want to overeat at night for some reason. I think it's fatigue
You've done
levels
well
for
all
me.
day, and then you want to eat at night when it's, yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's because I'm busier during the day. I'm just constantly moving. I had what I needed, I'm fine. And then all of a sudden I'm tired and I'm still doing laundry at 10 o'clock at night and it's been 4 hours, But it's interesting that just a 15-minute walk after dinner, even if that's your shake, can help reduce that.
What does it do? It lessens
So
50%.
it says Well, it actually, if it's before, it says taking a 15-minute walk before or after a meal helps reduce consumption at a meal by 50%. So if you take a 15-minute walk before, it reduces consumption by 50%.
Okay.
And after a meal, it helps with blood sugar management.
Okay.
So again, blood sugar management causes us to be a little bit hungry. Okay. So exercise is huge. Not only that, but just during the holiday stress.
Yeah.
If you don't have time, try and take a 15-minute walk. Now, and from a metaphysical standpoint, from what I love, is if you're outside taking a walk, you're connecting with nature. So again, for me, that's the universe, God, and that's the connection and the wholeness, okay? Doesn't have to be for everybody, but for me it is. All right, how many of you want late night treats? What are your late night treats?
I have a nice delight if I'm kind of late.
Ice delight. Before isogenics, what was it?
Maybe a cookie.
Cookie?
Tapatio Doritos and milk.
Oh,
Doritos and
Tapatio Doritos. So
Spice.
spicy, so salty. You love the salty.
Salt person. Or the green pimento olives, I eat those by the handfuls.
Okay.
Oh, I
Alright.
love those too.
Tracy, did you have one?
Yeah, I keep pro shake before I go to bed.
Okay, so you have a protein shake. You're
After work out.
yes, he's so good. Tracy, what do you want?
You know what I've been craving lately is that cookie